I'm Chimomi Mangazi with Business Time on Times. This is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines. In today's program, does Malawi need more dialogue to find solutions to economic recovery, as was the case with the recent National Economic Recovery Plan workshop? We attempt the question. Also in the program, National Bank of Malawi paints a positive outlook for its business. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome. The Ministry of Finance last week held a workshop to gather views on how best to grow the local economy. This comes despite calls from various stakeholders who say Malawi has had enough ideas on paper that are never put into action. But where should Malawi start? Daise Gambalame is the Malawi Confederation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry Chief Executive Officer.
What are the key issues that we need to address to really resuscitate and revamp this economy? So the framework that the ministry has given gives us confidence, especially in knowing that they understand the challenges that the economy is facing. I think where we came in to add more value was to look at what other things can we actually partner with them on, especially on resource mobilization. Because a plan like this cannot be achieved without actually looking at where is the resource base going to come from. So we already know that government has got a huge deficit that they want to recover. And most of the development partners are actually not giving budget support like they used to do. So for us, the key thing is now looking at how we're going to raise resources to implement the plan, and especially the role that private sector is going to play, and also issues of accountability on how do we ensure that we're holding each other accountable on the targets that we've set, so that at least all the key priorities that have been highlighted and flagged in this plan are actually being implemented. So for us, that's what is giving us confidence to know that there is a role that the private sector is going to play, and also agreement that we need to be holding each other accountable in the implementation of the plan.
And here is what Finance Minister Joseph Mwanamveka had to say at the end of the event.
At least we have achieved what we wanted to achieve of this. We had this National Economic Recovery Consultation Forum. And to me it has been successful because we have received a lot of comments, ideas, which will go back, polish them, and make sure that they are incorporated in the final document that's going to be presented. As we way forward, we want to make sure that those that have not contributed, I want them also to contribute. We'll give them up to 15th of June. Because we want to finalize so that by early next month, July, we want to make sure that we have the final document that we can now take it to cabinet and make sure that thereafter we need to launch. So we want to launch it in somewhere in early July. So I would say that I'm happy with the progress we have made. I think we have achieved. You can actually see the excitement. By the way, I was not sure that we still have the audience up to 2:30 from almost 9 o'clock. They have been there. You could see the excitement that at least we have achieved what we wanted to achieve. The strategy that we are discussing today, the plan, is to address the challenges that we are having at the moment. And it's a known fact that we have a challenge in terms of public debt. We have a challenge in terms of revenue mobilization. We have a challenge in terms of foreign exchange. Actually, as I've said in the presentation or in my speech, the elephant in the room at the moment is foreign exchange. If we address foreign exchange, I guarantee you that everything will move smoothly. That's one of the issues that we want to address. We also want to address the issue of money supply, because as the governor said, it's the money supply that is chasing the foreign currency in the black market. We want to address money supply. We want to address in terms of inflation. We also want to address the cost of borrowing. We want the private sector to play a very critical role. They should be able to borrow from the banks and then expand their businesses, create more employment, to Malawians. As I've said, I'm really worried as your Minister of Finance that you have a lot of young men and women that are graduating, almost 500,000 a year that are graduating, and all those are struggling to find a job. They can't even employ themselves because the environment is not enabling to do so. They can't borrow from the commercial banks. They can't borrow even from other institutions. I mean, that has to change. I also lamented on the issue of the growth of population, because now the population is growing much faster than GDP growth. What that entails that the little cake that we have is shared by many people. So every time the population is growing, and that the cake is stored has remained the same or has shrunk. So what that will mean is that there will be more poverty, more poverty. So this forum will tend to say, we need to do something. We can't remain as we are. And also let me take advantage of this also forum to indicate that government appreciates the challenges that Malawians are facing. We sympathize with Malawians. We are all suffering, and we are not happy that Malawians are suffering. But we needed to take this issue head on, make sure that we address the situation. I can assure you in a few months to come, Malawians will see why we did what we did. They will believe that we meant well, and we meant that Malawians, at the end of the day, they need to benefit, because we cannot continue what we are doing at the moment. There will be light at the end of the tunnel. We'll make sure that happens. It's difficult indeed. As I said, I listen to everything that is in the social media, the proposals that are being made, but we are saying, what do I do? Because the first thing that we needed to do is to make sure that our services do not suffer, particularly hospitals, schools, and also be able to provide services in our ministries and departments. That's the challenge that we have at the moment. So I'm happy with the progress so far.
National Bank of Malawi says it is poised for continued growth anchored on a clear and deliberate business strategy. This emerged during a stakeholder engagement in Blantyre on Tuesday. Harold Gia is the bank's chief executive officer.
So as National Bank of Malawi, we are the largest taxpayer. In 2025, the total taxes that we paid as a bank were 111 billion kwachas. But we also limited other taxes that we collected, about 29 billion. In total, 141 billion is what we limited to MRA. So this is our contribution to the nation because of our performance, our good trading performance. We also do support communities in the country. We did spend 2.9 billion to support the vulnerable communities in health, education, scholarships for students, and other areas to support the communities. So we have a robust system. We are putting in proper financial crimes monitoring modules, which monitor real-time how all the transactions are going, flagging out suspicious transaction, monitoring any other irregular activities by those that want to commit crime, and we report this to the authorities, financial intelligence authorities, and all authorities that we need to report to. We have a big department, confirmed and trained officers to manage this. We also train all our staff in all other areas to make sure that we are managing all activities around anti-money laundering. Yeah, thank you very much. We do have a fleet of about 161 ATMs. We noted that some ATMs, around about 20, had regular problems. We are replacing all of these. We have bought new ATMs, and we take out all these and bring in new ones. We also have looked at those other ones that needed extra attention. We have brought in spare parts to rectify the challenges. We have also trained our technicians so that every time there's a problem, we don't need to go to the vendor. Our own people can service these machines. So we expect a better and improved performance going further in 2020.
Msonko SACCO has conducted its first annual general meeting, reporting a surplus of 179 million kwacha for the year ended 31st December 2025. The SACCO's Chief Executive Officer, Fumbani Mhango, says the figures give a good outlook and value for investors.
Okay, Msonko SACCO started in 2023, the contributions. We had around 273 members. But as you can see, as of 2025, we have 864 members registered. So it's a SACCO that just began, but right now, as you can see, we are billionaires. We are one of the billionaires SACCOs in Malawi. Okay, the performance of Msonko SACCO as 2025 has been good. As we can look at the income, the profits, we have made a huge profit. We don't call it profit, we just say surplus. We have made 179 million. That's a surplus. Of course, we are supposed to declare dividends, but the board has decided to reinvest the money. So we are not going to give out dividend. We'll invest the money so that in 2026, we should give out dividends in huge numbers. The future is so bright, and the potential is very good. Because we are the first SACCO here, as the MUSCO told us, we are the first SACCO to reach this milestone within 1 year. So the future is good. So we just need to capitalize the remaining members. They should join so that we should be financially stable the coming years.
And Malawi Union of Savings and Credit Cooperatives MUSCO Chief Executive Officer Fumbani Nyangulu says the SACCO has shown great potential.
This is a great milestone, and we're happy that as a SACCO sector we are growing, because more and more people want to form SACCOs or to be part of the SACCO system so that they're able to save and borrow conveniently for their well-being. You know, SACCOs are, they really help people in the sense that they're able to avail convenient financial services to them, and this means savings as well as loans. And you know, when you have savings, you can easily access loan because you have part of it as collateral, so people know that you are able to save every month. And you know what? And the SACCOs also try to build capital, to build members' capital. So in times like this, you need savings. In times like this, you need a space where you can borrow conveniently without any challenges. You want to borrow for productive purposes, and which SACCOs really encourage that we should be borrowing for productive purposes. So that's why you need SACCOs, especially in this kind of environment. MUSCO provides technical support so that these SACCOs are able to operate effectively and members are getting convenient and better services. There could be one or two that could be failing to do that, and it is our responsibility to continue working with them. But I also tell such members that, you know, a dividend is not the end of it. As long as people are able to access as many financial services as possible. Because you see, when you have saved, for example, 2 million, or you have saved 500,000, how much will be a dividend? Very small by the end of the day. So what is important is, when I want a service, am I able to get it? A dividend should just be something that is coming as a windfall at the end of the year. So that's our responsibility. We want members to be getting the best services as well as the return at the end of the year.
Isuzu Motors South Africa has reaffirmed its commitment to the continent's manufacturing growth as Africa pushes its drive for increased regional trade and industrialization. The company made the pledge during the launch of its latest D-Max pickup range in Kasane, Botswana, where it announced plans to deepen localization of vehicle components and expand its footprint across Africa, including Malawi. Benedetta Chiwandamia was there and now reports.
Southern Africa is increasingly becoming an important hub for automotive manufacturing. This is also coming at a time when we have seen an influx of imported vehicles manufactured outside the region coming into the continent, and that has also raised a push for Africa to scale up its automotive production capacity to make sure that the vehicles are being manufactured right here at home. And now the Isuzu Motors South Africa has just unveiled its range of D-Max Bakkie. The vehicles represent more than just a new product on the market. They represent the potential that Africa has in terms of scaling up its capacity and becoming one of the global players in the automotive manufacturing sector. But do these products respond to the needs of Africa and the needs of the African roads? This is what Isuzu Motors South Africa had to say.
We have a few enhancements on the new D-Max. When we look at our previous year's performance, we are actually proud as a brand to say that we've seen growth in terms of volume. We've maintained our market share in the local market. We have worked very consciously in localizing a lot of our parts, and that has also made replacement of parts more affordable. And over the years, we do plan to still have more localization of parts. And I would say that with every passing model, we've been able to attract more localized suppliers, which also contributes to having our vehicles as affordable when it comes to replacement of parts. Africa has really become a focus area for us. At the moment, we've got 28 dealerships in the Rover market, and with active plans to really increase that. Feasibility studies are being done to make sure that we have a far wider reach. So definitely a focus area that we recognize as a very key aspect of growth for the brand, and making sure that our customers also have a wider footprint and access to dealerships across Africa.
Now, when we look at the products that are being manufactured in Africa and these vehicles that have been unveiled here in Kasane, Botswana, are being manufactured right here at home in South Africa. But what does this mean for the African market? Kamiza Chikula is one of the communications experts who has reported more on automotive products, and this is what he had to say.
The D-Max range is absolutely superb. I say it's superb because I feel it is a car that is built for Africa, but most importantly, it's built in Africa. So there's an understanding of what we require from a car on the continent. We don't have the luxury of tarred roads everywhere. For example, to get to my village, I go off-road, and I need to know that I've got a vehicle that can get me there and get me back safely. One component that makes me proud to be part of this Isuzu D-Max launch is that every unit that is bought is making sure that an African, a fellow African, has a job. A fellow African can put food on the table. And ultimately, there's a contribution to the overall African economy. Scaling up in future, I don't see in the very distant future things happening where we'll be able to have manufacturing, or at least hubs for distribution across East Africa, West Africa, North Africa. But knowing that they're coming from the continent itself makes me really proud.
The big question is, what does this mean for Malawi and the Malawi market? So the Automotive Products Limited, APL, is the local car dealer for Isuzu products, and this is their reaction to the latest unveiled D-Max range.
As Automotive Products, we are very excited for this new facelift that's coming on the D-Max. And this brings a lot of technological advances, a lot of safety features that have been improved, and also a new look. We are hoping to get some units in July on the new model. I mean, the city roads are fine, but when you go in the villages and whatnot, you need a vehicle like this one, with the 4x4 applications and the safety features that it has, and the technological features that also assist in terms of driving.
The launch of the D-Max range represents more than just a new product on the market. It highlights the potential that Africa has when it comes to bringing automotive manufacturing right here at home in Africa, increasing regional trade, and also capacitating the region when it comes to manufacturing and industrialization. The future is bright, but it has a starting point, and the Southern Africa has started that.
Well, with that item, we've come to the end of today's edition of Business Time here on Times Television. This is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Chimwemwe Mangazi. But always remember, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. Bye.